We're briefly back in the UK to visit the home of Jim Thornbury and one of the best collections of American classic cars outside of the USA. Now, if you're into chrome fins and over-the-top dimensions, you'll be in heaven here. Today we're going to look at Jim's '63 Corvette. Well, there's a lot going on here in your workshop, Jim, where you keep all these fabulous cars in pristine condition. And the '63 Corvette, now by now, this was quite a well-established vehicle or model, wasn't it?
Oh, of course, yes. This is the car that was competing with our E-Type here.
Right.
Oh, yes, and very much in demand in the States. Of course, we couldn't get them over here at the time. It's only in the last 10 years that they've really filtered into the UK.
And where did you find this one?
Well, this car came over from Florida with a gentleman who was getting towards 70 years of age. He delighted in driving it, but realised as 5 years went on after he brought it over here that it would be a hard drive for him to do in the future. So he decided he'd like to take an easier car back, and indeed he took back from me to Florida a 1966 Thunderbird, believe it or not. A beautiful car.
I think it was a good swap. And, you know, the styling's fantastic. These bumped wings here, which were, I think, taken from Bill Mitchell's 1957 racing version of the Stingray as well.
Yes.
Another thing they did here was that they realised by having a really low chassis, that it improve handling through the corners. And
that's right, and of course they did this leather chassis, didn't they, to strengthen the car. So, which is pretty unique because it's very rigid on the road, you know, when you're travelling.
And the ladder chassis is on this version, is it?
Oh, yes, it is indeed.
Because before that, of cour's, they'd had the cross...
Yes. This one has the leather chassis, and it's very, very solid car and a beautiful drive. Yeah,
it's interesting because it's a recurring theme, isn't it, in a lot of classic cars.
It is, yes.
You know, people talk about, you know, muscle power and all sorts.
Particularly in that era.
And extensions of various sorts. But you're saying that was probably a
similar
conscious decision.
To the Jaguar. The E-Type Jaguar had symbolised something very similar. Yes.
It's all male, isn't it?
It is all male, yes, but I'm sure the ladies would love to drive that car.
The name Corvette is one of the most famous in the world, and Jim '63 is getting to be in top-nick condition. Well, we'll be back here next week to take a look at another in his collection. And if you've never heard of the words Ventiports or the Dynaflow system, all will be revealed then. Meanwhile, let's fly back to North America.